Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and to Runebound 3rd edition, episode 1 of the Ascendance of Margath. What we'll probably do is the turns are pretty quick, so I'll probably do 2 or 3 turns I think an episode. We'll see how it goes. So who's going to be first? Well, first is going to be Master Thorne, who's up here in the town of Everton, just south of Starfall Forest. So let's zoom in and see what he's gonna do. And here we are with Master Thorne. Well, the first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna move, but he doesn't have to roll any dice. The reason is he's only gonna move 1 hex, and you're allowed to do that without rolling dice, but you can only move 1 hex. And obviously he's going to move here, right next to this quest gem. So let's pick up the green quest deck. Here we are. So we flip this over and we get a quest. The Peaceful Lake. Echo Lake is bluer than the sky itself. It is said that you can whisper on one side of the lake and be heard on the other. 1 action to explore Echo Lake. And what you'll do is once you get to Echo Lake, you will roll your movement dice. So if you get 1 water, that counts as 1 success. 1 water and a plains is the 2nd success. And this 3rd type of success is 2 waters. And you will get a reward depending on if you achieve on your roll. So this stays with Master Thorne, so he has found a quest. So we'll put that there, and because he's picked up a quest, we will flick the token over to show that that one has been exhausted. Right, now that cost 2 actions, so it was 1 action for him to move 1 hex without rolling any movement dice, and it was his last 2 actions out of 3 he used to actually look at the quest token. So that is the end of the first turn for Master Thorne. Next up, Lyssa. And here's Lyssa. Now, I think I made a bit of an error with Lyssa. Thematically I went for the Hunter's Circle because she's a bit of a huntress. But if you see, there's a load of water around her. There's only sort of one way out without water, which is south. She's pretty much got to roll water to move. If she doesn't, hopefully we can still get out southwards, but it means we would probably have to, you know, start with this particular adventure gem, which is a combat, which really isn't ideal to start with, but we'll see if we can roll any waters. So there we go. She gets 3 movement dice. Whoop. 1 fell out. Well, we've got a bit of a problem because we didn't roll any waters whatsoever. Now she could exert, but let's see if she can actually get anywhere first. So having a look, unfortunately, you see, we could have done with these 2 because we could have got to this quest gem here, but unfortunately we haven't got a water to get across here. We've only got that. So what we're going to do is we are going to exert. We're going to exert Magic Shield. So we'll discard that, and we're going to roll this dice again. And no good. So we'll have to exert again. So we'll do black market. You can exert as many times as you've actually got a skill card. You could do with a wild or a water here. At last we get a wild. So we had to exert and get rid of 2 cards. But now she can move. So she uses the wild to cross the water, which gets her into the forest, and then we'll spend another forest to get her here. So she is now on the quest adventure gem. So similar to Master Thorne, let's flick it over. And we do indeed get a quest, so let's have a read. Wild magic has been leaking out of Manara's teeth, creating fantastic light storms that roll across the riverlands. The power it must hold. One action. Test spirit in Manara's teeth. So Manara's teeth, is it anywhere near here? He says, looking round to try and find it. Yeah, it's a bit across. It's a bit across this way. So she's got a quest. And again, when she does a test, she's got 2 spirit, I think. Yeah, she's got 2 spirit. So what she'd have to do, if she got 2 successes, she'd be able to channel the storm and gain a bonus trophy. And if she only got 0 to 1 successes, she'd be struck by lightning. Nice. Okay, so she's got that quest. We'll put that on her player area. And that is it for turn 1. They've both moved and they've both spent 2 actions in order to flip an adventure gem. Right, so what we do is we move down the tracker. So I'll just show that, won't be a second. And here we are at the tracker. So this will just move down here, but as you can see, we've got one of these star symbols that is exactly the same as on the story deck. So let's flip this over, see what we get. I knew it'd be upside down. Cult Town. Let's see where it's marked. So let's have a look. The villagers in Brightvale have fallen under the sway of a terrible cult calling itself the Dread. To discover the Dread's connection to Margath's return, you'll have to survive their initiation. Story quest. Place 1 law on this card. A hero rolls 1 terrain die whenever he or she enters this hex. If the hero rolls a plains, he or she takes 2 damage and continues rolling and taking damage until he or she does not roll a plains. One action. Take 1 law from this card. So this will stay in play. So what we do is put the rest of the story deck back. We will take this icon, this token, and we will put it on Brightvale. So be back in a second once I've done that. And here is Brightvale, right down in the bottom left hand corner of the map, not far from Dawn's Moor. Okay, so we put the token here, so we know there's a story card that relates to it. Just to show you what happens to the story card. And here we are at the top of the board. You can see here where the number 1 is, we've put the card here. So we know that the token on the board with a 1 on it relates to this card. Right, so that is the story card dealt with. Okay, just a brief recap at the end of that turn. So we've now got a story quest token down here. This is Brightvale. So you see it's right in the bottom left hand corner of the map. We have Lyssa, she's here at the Hedge, and we still have Master Thorne here at the southern end of Starfall Forest. We also have, and what I've done, just so we'll be able to see it on the video, is where I've put this red stand on its side here. That is where the quest, Lyssa's quest, Storm of Magic, in the Manara's Teeth, that's based here. So she needs to go to one of these 2 hexes if she wants to complete that quest. Similarly, we've got a yellow here for Master Thorne, because he's colour-coded yellow, she's colour-coded red, and his yellow tokens here at Echo Lake if he wants to do his quest. So that was the end of turn 1. Just a quick recap of where everybody is. Right, let's crack on with turn 2. And our first player is once again Master Thorne. And here's Master Thorne. Ideally we'd like him to get over here to this social token or that social token. So what he's going to do, he's going to roll 3 dice. Let's see what he can do. So he does get a plain, he gets a forest and a hills. He gets a plains and a hills. And he gets a wild. Surely we can get him somewhere. So he could move 1 forest to here. Then he could have a plain to here. And then use his wild. Also, he could use his wild for the actual exile peak and then use his plain to get here. But either way, he can get here. And that's what he's going to do. So that's his first action, which is a move. Then he's going to spend his last 2 actions to actually take a social card. And that's the purple deck. So let's have a look what he gets. Another quest. Dragon Tales. An old scholar resides on the fringes of Wormwood. She has studied the records of the Dragon Wars for decades. 1 action to explore the Wormwood. So we'll put a token there. And then what we do is he'll roll his movement dice, 3 of them. And depending on the outcome, we shall see how he does. There's only 2 outcomes for this. So he has to roll 1 forest to get outcome 1, and a forest or a wild to get outcome 2. Pretty cool. Right, so I shall sort that out. And next up will be Lyssa. Just before we move to Lyssa, just to point something out, Wormwood's here, and Echo Lake, which is the other quest that Master Thorne has, is here. So probably be a good idea to see if we can get him over here to complete these 2 quests, because there's also an adventure gem there. So could be a good idea to get him heading in this direction. Oh, and another thing, I forgot to put the lore token on the story card here. So the story quest here does have a lore token associated with it, and I've just put it there to remind me. Right, now we'll get to Lyssa. And here's Lyssa. She's got a couple of options. She can either go for this combat token, which I'm not keen on until we can actually, until we can get ourselves a weapon or something. But we're not getting very good at getting gold or anything. We're getting a lot of quests, but we're not actually getting anywhere as regards trophies or gold. So she can either go here, or ideally, let's try another social quest here in the Howling Valley. So let's roll those dice. Right, so we've got a plains and a forest, a plains and a wild. Surely that will get us there. Yep, we'll get a plains to go to here. Then we don't have a hills, but we do have a wild. So plains, then a wild. And there she is on the Howling Valley. Let's turn that over. Yep, we turned it over for Master Thorne as well, just checking that. Right, so let's get rid of those. And let's have a look at the social deck. Ooh, an event this time. Makes a nice change. Hidden Talents event. A young girl's magic endangers her. Is it a blessing or a curse? Teach her how to channel her powers. Test spirit to take this card as a trophy. If you get at least 2 successes, gain 1 bonus trophy. Social trophy. Or advise her to shun her powers and learn a real vocation. You teach her the ways of a travelling peddler. Test mind to trade any of your goods for X additional gold. X is the number of successes. Discard this card. Well, do you know what? She's got 2 of everything. She's got 2 body, 2 mind, 2 spirit. So I think our best chance getting this as a trophy is, well, yeah, I'd rather take it as a trophy. So let's go for the trophy one. So we're going to test spirit. Funky. Wait a second, just put that back. So we're testing spirit, and we need the skill deck. So what we're going to do on the skill deck is we're going to turn over 2 of these cards, and we need that little success icon. So the first card is meditation. Even though I flicked it up wrong way round, that is 1 success. So we've got at least 1 success. And again, 2 successes. Guiding light. Brilliant. So we got 2 successes. What does that mean? So we've got the card as a trophy. And if you get at least successes, gain 1 bonus trophy. So we have now as trophies, we've got a combat trophy, we've got a social trophy, and another social trophy. So she's doing well on trophies. Thank God for that. I was thinking we weren't going to get any trophies, any gold or anything. These 2 that we tested, they get discarded. So that's good stuff. She's gone into an early lead as Lyssa, ladies first. Right, so she used 1 action for a movement, and she used the final 2 actions out of a 3 in order to encounter the social adventure gem. So that's it for her go. So next up, it's the end of the turn. So we move. I think we can we see it? No, I'll just move it up a bit, won't be a second. So we move the timer down. It's going to the 3rd space on the track. There's nothing there, so there's nothing special we have to do. Just move it to there. And that is it. That is the end of turn 2. What I'll do is I'm going to leave it there. Be a bit short, but I just want to make sure I've got everything right. I haven't played this game before. I'm playing it blind. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing stuff right. So I'll leave it there. And I just want to check everything out. But in future, I think what I'll do is I'll do 3 turns for each episode. Right, let's have a look at the main board and see where everything is. And here we are, at the end of turn 2, just at the, we're slightly offset on the board, but it's just so I can show you a few things. So, we're down to turn 3 here. This is where Master Thorne is, just, what is that? Southeast of Exile Peak, and we've got Lyssa in the Howling Valley, and we've got a story quest, remember, here at Bright Vale, and we've got Lyssa's quest is here, Manara's Teeth, and there are 2 quests for Master Thorne at Wormwood and Echo Lake that are just marks off there. There's a story quest, Cult Town, and there's the associated lore token. As far as Master Thorne and Lyssa are concerned, they're still pretty much as they started off as regards gold, but Master Thorne, he's got 2 outstanding quests. Lyssa has only got 1 outstanding quest, but she does have 3 trophies, which is excellent stuff. She's only got 1 card in her hand, so she'll probably have to train at some point. So she'll probably do that next. One of her actions next will be to train. And Master Thorne's still got 4 in his hand. But he's going to try and get across to Wormwood and Echo Lake, I think. While Lyssa will train, get back to a hand size. And we'll see if she can spend any of those trophies. She could buy Lady Luck now. Once per turn, well, next turn, when you test an attribute, you may choose to ignore the results of that test and test again. So, but I think what we'll do is we'll draw up to a hand size first. Yeah, because what we'll do, you draw 3 cards, we pick the 3 that we want, and we'll make a decision because we'll have 4 cards to choose from then, rather than just pick this. straight off. We may as well have 4 cards to choose from. Right, so that's pretty much it. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for all the comments and all the subscriptions. They are very much appreciated. I know I say it every time, but they are. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Runebound, 3rd edition, the Ascendance of Margath. We haven't really got much done, but like I say, playing it a bit blind, so I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right. If I'm not getting it right, please mention it in the comments and point out what an idiot I've been. Also, if you've got any ideas what our heroes should do, by all means please share them. But as it stands, I think Master Thorne try and get across to those 2 quests, and Lyssa can she can start learning a skill. I think she'll learn a skill, spend a couple of these trophies that she's got, and then we'll move on from there. So once again, thanks very much for watching. I hope you join me next time for episode 2 of Runebound, 3rd edition, the Ascendance of Margath. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.